Hey everybody, Gene Young, the inspection company, on this gloomy, sleepy kind of day. Today was a wacky day, I guess you'd say. Just a really oddball day. Our first inspection was in Sandy Ridge, North Carolina, going past Walnut Cove and Danbury and going on up towards Virginia. And so Corey and I opened the front door, and immediately, pretty much at the same time, we were like, oh my God. You could smell like a egg propane smell. I mean, it was like pretty bad. And we walked in anyway, and after the first minute or two, we were like thinking, is this anxiety, or are we feeling something from propane? And I was trying to figure out where the source was. So I told Corey to go out to the van and get the sniffer, and I proceeded to go towards the kitchen. It smelled like it was more toward that way, and I looked, and there was a brand new gas range, and I took the bottom tray out, looked underneath to see if I could get to the valves and stuff. I couldn't, so I pulled it out. They had a service. They had an appliance cable hooked up to it, an appliance gas cable hooked up to it, and I'm not hoping, but I would be surprised if this was done by a professional. It appeared to me to be done by possibly a handyman. And as soon as I put my sniffer on, right before my sniffer even got to it, it just lit up, and I immediately shut the valve off, and it was right at the connection, right where the shutoff is. And thank God it was after the shutoff valve. If it had been before the shutoff valve, then we'd have been clearing the whole house and getting some, we wouldn't be able to do our inspection. So we opened up every window and door downstairs, and then we headed upstairs. We usually start in the kitchen and downstairs and make our way around, but we're pretty tight on schedule today. Our next inspection was in Holly Springs, which was 2 hours away, at 12:30. So we had to, we couldn't waste. We didn't have time to mess around. So we opened up the sunroom, all the doors and windows downstairs, the heat wasn't functional downstairs, so it didn't matter either way. And the attic was finished, so we were able to start way up in the attic, which was finished. Small area though, but we got away from downstairs while the air was moving and clearing all that gas smell out. And then we went from the attic, finished attic, to the other upper level, and we done everything there. And then we finally got back down to the main level. Everything was a lot better. We walked outside, walked back in to make sure that the smell was gone. So put all the windows and doors, everything back, and so yeah, that was a really interesting inspection. But we made it through it, and I shut the gas valve off, reached out to Vanessa to reach out to the buyer's agent, let them know there was a gas leak. As soon as we walked in the house, we identified it, we shut the valve off, proceeded with the inspection. It was a big propane tank sitting on the back side of the woods of the lot. So I'm going to recommend a qualified individual go out there and get everything hooked up right for that gas range, which was propane. So we finished up there, and then we jetted on out to Holly Springs. It's about a 2 hour and some change. This was a builder's warranty inspection, and a couple interesting things here. There was two big concerns from the homeowner, which when I do a builder's inspection, I consult with the homeowner to figure out what are their concerns, what are they noticing. We document those, and then we do our own inspection. This was a little different. So we got there, met with the homeowner. He immediately showed us an area. This was a slab property, slab. He immediately showed us in the kitchen where his flooring was wood flooring, pre-finished. It was separated and buckling really bad in the breakfast area, breakfast nook, which was toward an exterior wall in front of a window, and it ran clear across from the breakfast nook through the kitchen sink, underneath that countertop of the kitchen sink, ran through that, up under the gas range there, and into the pantry. I mean, it ran clear across the room. And then his other concern was at his water heater in the garage. It wasn't really on a pedestal. It was a built-up area, finished off a drywall platform. And he noticed that, he said in hard rains, that he noticed like water was coming from up under the base or that drywall area. There was like a line of water, like from a leak, that he noticed there. Those were his two biggest concerns. So we continued to do our normal inspection, and then we got to the areas that he was concerned about. We looked into those a lot harder, and so we went to the exterior, done the perimeter inspection, and the only foundation crack we saw was in front of that window in the kitchen. This was on a slab again, and there was artificial stone. Artificial stone should not rest on the soil. It should not rest on the ground. It should not rest on concrete. It should not rest on asphalt. It should not even be touching. There should be a clearance between the artificial stone and the ground, soil, whatever. So there was a pretty nasty crack. It went all the way through the artificial stone, right in front of that window, which went straight to the kitchen. So what I'm thinking is, and what I wrote up, is there's potential for moisture intrusion is getting in, it's causing maybe some undermining or some erosion of the soil, and it's causing that slab to sink down, causing the floor to bow. And once it bows, it starts to pull the floor away and separate, and then that separation has ran clear across the room. Because once you break the floor that's closed together tight and you start to separate it, it's going to continue downstream. It's kind of like you hit a window in one area, you see where the crack or the rock hit, but then it runs across because those are weak points. It's following that point. So in the line of the seams of this floor, that's where it ran. So I'm thinking that moisture intrusion has caused some issues with the slab and the foundation. Most people give, builders, so forth, give 10-year structural warranties. That's what I hear is the norm in the industry. So this should be covered for the guy. And then at the water heater, once we got there, we seen the platform drywall. I prodded it. I didn't get any high moisture readings. So I'm figuring it's coming under the framing somewhere. But he says when it rains really hard. So upon looking around the exterior where the gas line goes in, that penetration point was not sealed whatsoever. There wasn't any residue, nothing. It had never been sealed. This house was 2020. So he's only been living there, I think, a year and a half. And so that was a penetration point where moisture was getting in. And I told him there was probably some, just been going on for a year and a half. There's probably some fungal growth, probably some other damage that we can't see behind the wall, hidden damage. Same thing with the wall, the foundation wall that's got the crack in front of the window at the kitchen that runs straight across. It's buckling the floor and separating it. I think there's probably some moisture damage, hidden damage there as well. So yeah, that was the brunt of the day. Here, get ready to go work on my reports, get me a little snack, get me some water. Go in here and do my inspections. I mean my reports. So we're booked up for the rest of the week. We're leaving Friday, and I've got an inspection I'm doing Friday morning. Actually out in Rayford, or it's way out near Fayetteville. So I'm gonna have a long day Friday. It's gonna be driving to Rayford and then back here and then driving all the way down to Orlando and then at the hotel and get some rest and then get up and then go to the airport and catch our flight to Puerto Rico and be there until the 29th. 28, 29, I don't know. Anyway, guys, 336-989-8185, 336-989-8185, HomeTechToSee.com. The inspection company, we love you guys. Peace.